look at an LG if anyone's interested. This isn't the kind of thing most people want to do, though. No badge, very few merits. Lots of running around between zones. It's an issue zero arc. What else can we say? Now, I haven't played this alt in a while, but I suspect he does alright solo. I don't have any, since I'm doing this in real time, I don't have any Oro challenges going. I think he can handle +1. I'll go ahead and start. No one's going to be interested in this kind of thing. Right, starting it off with a defeat all. Looks like a couple of patrols ran into me while I was fighting. This could get a little ugly. Now that I'm sitting here on low health, I'm wondering if that scaling damage resistance IO might be pretty good on radiation armor. Because radiation armor gets that extra boost of regen down at low health. Definitely no expert though. This is the highest level I've ever been with radiation armor, so I really don't know what I'm talking about. And my reason for running this arc in particular is because it has a certain named Skulls boss at the end. And I was recently doing a sort of a bug hunt kind of stream, checking to see which Skulls enemies count for badges and which don't. And one of the enemies that's in the game, though I don't know if it's used, if it is used, it would be at the end of this arc, though I don't know if it is in fact used, but we'll find out. And since I'm a completionist, I might as well just run it on one of my alts that hasn't done the arc yet, and this one fits the bill. The fact that he seems to be soloing very, very well is a definite bonus. Too bad no one wants to get in on this. I'd be running +1 missions with, I'd like to think of myself as a decent tank. I don't have taunt yet. I don't have a taunt aura yet, but I do have a really big PB AoE, and I know how to change targets to sort of draw in as much aggro as I can. That said, I still don't think this arc can really compete with Death from Below for just quick leveling. Issue 24 made Skulls a bit tougher in some level range. I don't know if it's at level 10 or maybe a little higher, but that's a kind of a questionable difficulty boost. I don't know if the game needed it. People were already utterly ignoring King's Row in favor of Death from Below straight into Positron. So stands to reason nothing in King's Row really needed a difficulty boost. But a difficulty boost it got. The soldier lieutenants, the new lieutenant added, quite a bit more difficult than the existing lieutenants. And then the two new Skulls minions, the same deal. Quite a bit more difficult than the existing ones. And 2 new Skulls bosses, same deal again. Quite a bit more difficult than the Bone Daddies. The boosted Hellions, like for the Steel Canyon Arson event, that is for level 15 to 20 more like, where the added difficulty does make a little bit more sense. But here in the level 10 to 15 range, no. So question mark, that's probably the patrol's spawn point. It looks like the patrol's kind of stuck in here. I hope I can get him out. this one's out, no problem. But that guy floating. I can't even imagine how he managed to get himself stuck in there. It's not like I knocked him into it. Okay, looks like I can gradually PB AoE him down, but I'd like to avoid that. Ah, great. Okay, so I can get him from up here. 17-year-old game. Forgive it its flaws. First mission down. So I've got the entire mission arc there on the right. It's a bit on the long side by newer story arc standards. But not nearly as long as some of the higher level issue 0 arcs in the game. This is just, I think, 8 tasks. 1, 2, 3. I think like 8 or 9 tasks, which is definitely on the short side for issue 0 arcs, but still on the long side for the newest arcs. Developers over the years, they learned. It was just a little too long. They need to shorten things up. And the stories for these original story arcs are not complicated. There are no real twists. Bad guys have MacGuffin. Take MacGuffin to Azuria. And the encounter design is not great here because this is, the whole thing about the arc is it's Hellions versus Skulls are fighting each other, but I don't think we saw any Hellions fighting Skulls or vice versa in that mission. They were all sort of walking around, but I don't think they were actually fighting each other. So sadly, I'm going to have to say this mission arc has not aged well. I feel like I'm about to just go run a radio mission. No real story to speak of. Alright, then there's a combat hostage in here. We'll rescue her and never see her again. Just like a radio mission. That's it. This was 2004. MMO quests were not were like this. This was probably pretty good by MMO quest standards back then. If you remember World of Warcraft at launch, some of the quests were like defeat 5 wolves around the orchard, something like that. Really, really low effort kind of stuff. Maybe it wasn't expected that storytelling would be important in MMOs in 2004, and I've never played the real classic MMOs like EverQuest. I don't know how the quest design is in those. But the bar was low in 2004, so I'm not gonna be too mean to this poor 2004 story arc. This is much better than defeat 5 wolves around the orchard. All right, so we got some Hellions here. It's kind of sad that the story arc started on such a kind of a blah first impression that honestly these could be skulls in here or Hellions or a mix, and I probably wouldn't be paying much attention if I weren't actively critiquing. I mean, if they had established, wow, this boss does not miss. So if they had established skulls and Hellions as sort of separate groups with separate goals, maybe I'd be a little more attentive to what's going on. But if I hadn't been reading the text and I was just going by what I saw in the mission, I'd assume the Hellions and Skulls are working together. They were all just milling around, seemed perfectly friendly to each other. This boss is definitely just not going to miss. This is going to be rough, so probably stop by for inspirations. This set doesn't particularly have a fire hole, if I'm reading correctly. But I guess I'm just having a low level moment versus a +1 boss. Oh, and the hostage group saw me. This is not good. Probably should have grabbed the hostage first. I just didn't know she was there already. Oh, that dark miasma feels good. I think that's just what I needed. A little debuffing. The heal's nice too. Really, really wants me to. Makes me want to roll a Dark Miasma alt. Dark Miasma is. When people ask me if they're as a new player, what kind of defender they should roll, I say Dark Miasma. It's not the best, but it's got a nice mix of everything. So you kind of learn how to do everything, and at the same time, it is a very, very decent set. It gets quite strong even at level 1. And stays strong. It's not like, say, Kinetics. I would not recommend to a new player. It doesn't really get the good stuff till later. Kind of a late bloomer set, Kinetics. Dark Miasma does not have that problem. Oh, that Dark Miasma is kind of carrying me right now, gotta admit. Aliens don't have a huge amount of fire resistance, but it's enough to really slow me down and make me take more hits than I should. Okay. Hello, Yanamari. It's been nice knowing you. Have a nice life. All right, so Athena Curry is close to the train station, so I will take the train rather than some other method. Whoa, I want no part of whatever that is. Some kind of zone event stuff. I think those were unleveled mobs. Yeah, unleveled. By unleveled, I mean like they don't have a visible level, and I guess they're not. Combat with them is not adjusted for level, like a sort of giant monster mechanics. Some players say they kind of wish the whole game was like that, where levels didn't matter. I don't know if I agree, but it seems like a neat idea. there any MMOs that are kind of like that? Elder Scrolls Online is a little bit like that, possibly. All right, defeat the Skull Eater and guards. Another radio mission, basically. And this one, I don't even know what the MacGuffin was all about. Azuri's got the MacGuffin, and this is one of the few arcs where the MacGuffin doesn't get stolen back out of the vault again. So I'm not quite sure what we're still doing here. Gangs are causing problems. Go fight gangs. Okay. I sort of feel like we could shuffle up the order of all these missions and it would still make just as much sense. There's no real through line, there's no development. Okay, I should stop really critiquing Bonefire based on sort of modern MMO quest design. This was 2004. This was one of the original arcs. So again, just the fact that it's so much better than defeat 5 wolves around Orchard, we got to give it credit for that. Some glowies to deal with. Now, for some reason, I want to say whenever there's one of these story arc missions and there's a clue we have to get and a whole bunch of decoy glowies, it's always it always seems to be the desk without a computer monitor on it. That is the real glowy, the one you have to get, and the rest are decoys. Let's see if that's true here. I might be thinking of a specific other mission and not this one. Nothing of interest. It is interesting, though, that that was what computers did look like in 2004. Big old computer monitor took up the entire desk. Computers today would probably blow 2004 people's minds just a little bit. True, if you go to like Dell.com, they still sell the plain old towers, like I guess boomers think that's what computers are supposed to look like. Nothing of interest. So let's see if the real clue is desk with no computer monitor. That's what I'm thinking it is. That's what it always seems to be. In fact, I'm just going to skip any glowies that are different from desk with no computer monitor. I'm going to I'm going to get rid of these. This patrol. Patrols always seem to walk into me as I'm trying to fight something else. One less thing to deal with. And if they spawn, if this patrol spawned in the boss's room, they may be a required spawn anyway. So this way, they're just out of the way. Well, looky here. We have a desk with no computer monitor close to the boss. What do you think? I think this is it. Bingo. Ooh. I would love it if I'm able to fight this minion without the boss noticing. I forgot to buy inspirations. But I've got this boss alone by himself. Maybe I'll do alright. He's got no fire resists. And he's just a bone dandy. It is unfortunate I'm missing so much. Oh boy. Okay, fine. I've got to remember to get some inspirations. Where am I? King's Row? Kind of afraid to look at the enhancements on this alt. I'm half expecting to see a bunch of TOs slotted. Because I don't think I've played him since the sort of the changeover to mostly SO drops. Alright, so this is a decoy for sure. We've already got the real one. I'm just sort of wasting time. Yeah. Another decoy. Wonder how we're doing progress-wise. Are we halfway done? Look at the notes here. Ouch. Ah, there were 2 assailants. So those are the 2 new skull minions, the assailant and the striker. They are significantly tougher than the original ones. And bad luck with the RNG. There were 2 of them out of 3 in that spawn. I really don't know why the issue 24 developers thought the skulls at level 10 needed a power boost. Level 10 to 14 skulls missions were already in the game before issue 24, and nobody ran them. Yeah, in fact, this case in point, the missions I'm running right now were in the game before issue 24. No one ran them. It's not that they were too hard, just the merits you got for the time invested just wasn't up to standard. All right, so I believe this is going to be the home stretch for the arc, a delivery, a hunt, and a final cave mission. So Carla Brunelli is Skyway City. The train station in Skyway and the base portal are close to each other, so I might as well just take the teleporter. Oh, I do not have Skyway unlocked. Okay, so the code I still use is Zone 8888, even though the guy who maintains the space, I don't think he's been around. I think some of his portals have become broken. I think he might be missing a few destinations. But at least until I learn of a better substitute for this, this is what I'll just keep using. The camera clips through the wall for just a second. Now I'm curious what's back there. Alright, so locate gang headquarters, defeat 20 Hellions and 20 Skulls. They have to be in Perez Park. I've tried to cheese it in lower level zones before, it does not work. And then the final cave mission is also in Perez Park, so at least it saves you a long travel time for that part. Okay, so Perez Park. The Skulls and Hellions are concentrated around the ring road outside the walls of the park. The south side and the north side are the highest levels. So you can see level 10 up here. For Hellions, the low-level Hellions will be on the east side. That's where I'll head to first, and then the low-level skulls will be on the west side. Now I wonder if they're still taunted enough to not run away. That would be nice. I don't play tankers much, but that taunt has got to be a great little perk. Really like the combustion attack. Yeah, it's a slow animation, but 16 target cap, 15-foot radius. That's very uncommon in melee sets. And when you're playing tanker, more targets means more taunts. Same for brutes. I don't think brutes get the combustion though. Alright, so Hellion's done. Do I want to cut through the park? I'll go ahead and cut through the park to the west side. I probably haven't done the badge tour on this character for Perez Park. I can look. I'm not going to do that on this stream, but that's always sort of a fun one because I've done it so many times. I've really memorized everything. Atlas Park, Echo Galaxy City, Kings Row, and Perez Park. I'm pretty sure I've got those 4 zones badges memorized cold. Not because I'm super good at the game, but just because I've done it so many times on so many characters. I have a lot of altitis, not many characters I get above level 20. So I don't really remember the, say, independent sport badges quite as well. And then something like, say, Dark Astoria badges, I have no idea where they are. There's one on the hospital, that's all I know. Alright, so this will be another mixed Hellions and Skulls mission, and they won't really be fighting each other. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what my role in it is from a storytelling standpoint, but again, better than 5 wolves in an orchard. cave is right here. How nice. All right, grand finale. I want to take a good look at these bosses, see if they're just a reskinned Damned and a reskinned Bone Daddy. Hopefully they are, then I won't have to really do anything more. But if either of them is special, I might have to pay some attention and possibly make some updates on wikis. I mean, even my objective here is just sort of meh. More gang members, more defeat all. Just, yeah, bad guys. I'm a superhero. I punch them. That's the story. Which is fine. Just, doesn't give me a lot to sell it on. I'd love if more people ran the basic content like this, but there's not much reason to. Unless you're a hardcore completionist. At least it's not actively just way too difficult for the level, in addition to being just sort of long. If it's just sort of long, that's okay. People run Synapse Task Force. It's too long, but it's otherwise fine. Likewise, Bonefire, this is too long, but it's otherwise fine. We're not dealing with just ridiculously overpowered level 10 enemies. Battalion. What are you? I think you're just damned with a name. So nothing important for me to note here. Except, of course, I'll note that I forgot to buy inspirations again. And I really don't want to go back to the hospital because the hospital is on the other side of the map. It's on the east side. I'm on the west. Alright, so I've got a +2 boss. Resists my damage type. This could take a little while. I haven't made much of a dent. Oh no. Well, I apologize for the lack of preparedness here. But as long as I can avoid a hospital trip, this will be fine. Okay. Well, on the bright side, I will definitely remember to buy inspirations right now. 3 looks per boss should do it. What else? Toss in a couple of enrages to keep things moving. All right. The badge hunter in me is very, very annoyed that I just hopped right over the blood moss badge without even going to get it. But we'll do the badge tour some other day. Alright, so suddenly this will be too easy. Inspirations are kind of OP. Okay. Now the Hellions and Skulls are fighting each other, sort of. Or at least they're emoting aggressively at each other. What are they fighting over? I don't know because there's no glowy, there's no other objective other than to just defeat them all because I guess they're all just troublemakers and I am a hero. And this is what I do. Alright, so this is a large cave map, but I think I'm about halfway done. I think this particular large cave layout is always used for the Bonefire finale. It looks very familiar, at least. There won't be anything like a. It won't be a cake room. I can say that for sure. Now I could imagine if they had Hellions and Skulls actually fighting each other, that could be problematic because that would be Now, those fights would be rigged because the skulls got some power creep in issue 24 and the Hellions didn't, at least not in this level range. So the skulls, I imagine, would win every time. And that would, I don't know, walking into a cave room where, a bunch of skulls are standing over a bunch of dead Hellions, that doesn't really, I don't know if that really helps the storytelling. Oh my gosh, really? I wasn't even looking at my life. Oof. None of those were even new skulls. I've got no excuse for what just happened. I hope those were at least +2, otherwise that'd be real embarrassing. Maybe one was a chopper and I wasn't really paying attention. Got my defense debuffed. I don't know. Oh, now I gotta walk all the way through this cave. Ugh. Okay, so now we've got 2 assailants. So they're gonna perma debuff my defense to hell. Really not a good idea for a level 12 minion, I don't think. Level 12 player characters usually don't have any answers to enemy shenanigans. So there's a reason why low level enemies, at least originally, try to keep things simple. For instance, this character, level 10, doesn't even have Mez protection as a tanker. That's just the low level gameplay experience, and you got to design enemies around that. In fact, maybe one of the reasons why warriors now all of a sudden feel like they're underpowered is because the skulls got power creep. Before issue 24, I mean, sure, warriors were considered easy, but they weren't like, wow, these are easier than trolls. Wow, these are easier than skulls. So I wonder, if you try to put yourself in a mindset where the skulls didn't get any power creep, would the warriors still feel kind of out of balance? Is that skulls power creep just sort of spreading up to warriors? Bonebreaker. I think this is just a renamed Bone Daddy here. Nah, that's nothing special. There is, so the reason I was curious is that if you go into sort of your own local server or any server, you have access to GM powers. One of the skulls is named, one of the skull bosses is named Bonebreaker, and he has a unique costume and possibly unique powers too. But this is just a Bone Daddy. So I think that that spruced up special costume Bonebreaker is not used in game, or perhaps, or I guess if he is used in game, he's used in something I'm not familiar with. All right, so confirmed the last Skulls boss of Bonefire is just a Bone Daddy. That's good to know, so I don't have to worry about documenting that dummied out Bonebreaker boss. Not really important. Now 27, what was that, 23 reward merits? That's, okay, that's not awful. It's more than you'll get running DFB, that's for sure. But sort of the crippling problem with reward merits on story arcs is that you have to be running the exact same story arc at the same time as your team leader. Otherwise, you get nothing. if there were some way to fix that, or maybe even if it's just to organize the story arc as a task force so that everyone got the 23 reward merits. That would possibly be a little enticing. Anyway, we'll call that in. This is a good spot to day job. All right, well, thanks for being with me. I may go ahead and continue playing off stream, see what maybe the Twitch folks are doing. Maybe crash their teams or something. So thanks for joining me on this voyage of discovery. Discovering the identity of that last Skulls boss. And I'll see you next time.